Hey guys, this is Monday Megan here, and I'm about to put out a video that I had recorded and set to release this weekend. I recorded it on Friday. We went camping over the weekend, so I had pre-recorded a video to release so that you guys wouldn't be like 5 days without an update or a video or anything. And then I left it to upload on my laptop and something happened and it never went through. So I'm back from camping. We had an amazing trip, but I am going to release that video now. And I just wanted to pop in at the beginning of this video and apologize for the huge gap in time between my videos and explain why. So enjoy this video from Friday, and then I should be back tomorrow or Tuesday. Tomorrow is Tuesday. Tomorrow or Wednesday with another video, a follow-up to the one I'm about to show you. I won't ruin the surprise, but we will be doing some direct sowing of some seeds in the garden. Thank you guys. So I have a conundrum. This guy is about 4 weeks old. These guys are about 8 weeks old. And this is my only chicken tractor. And not only is this guy too small to be with the other chickens, the other chickens are huge by now. He's not fully feathered, so he can't be outside yet. And I have nowhere to put him once he gets bigger. And I'm calling him a he because of this fairly large comb he has. I don't know how to sex chicks. That's an art that requires a lot of training. But with the number of chicks that I've grown or hatched, it's quite extensive. You can usually tell a male apart from females just because of their rather large combs at a young age. Little guy. And also, the likelihood that you're going to get a male when you order a spare chick from McMurray Hatchery is pretty high. So once I'm able to, in probably 4 to 6 weeks, to take the hens out of the large coop that I have and put them with the rest of my flock, I've got to keep the males in there because the males will be harvested for meat later on down the road at about 16 weeks. But they have to stay in the chicken tractor because I can't let them out with the rest of my flock. Them and Oreo will clash. Oreo is my one rooster that I have. And so I'm just gonna keep them separate, feed them separate, maybe try and feed them a better diet so that they fill out quite nicely. But I have nowhere to put this guy. If all of my roosters are in the chicken tractor, the one chicken tractor that I have nowhere to keep this guy until he matures, because I don't really want him to stay in this. It's a great brooder, and technically the top is high enough that I could keep him in here, but it's not really fair. He's all by himself. I feel bad. And I want to get him out on pasture. I want him to have fun for the duration of his life and pecking the grass and pecking the weeds. So I don't know what to do with him quite yet. If anyone has any suggestions that doesn't require me building an entirely different chicken tractor, let me know. And while we're on the subject of chickens, I have some good and bad news. This morning I came out to the garden and noticed that I had left the gate to my garden open. Now I usually just step over this fence, but a lot of times when I'm doing yard work, I'll unhook this right here and leave it open so it's easy for me to get out of. And as y'all know and have seen, for the most part, I let my chickens free range. They do have an enclosed pen with an electric poultry netting, but they just get out all the time, and I just let them cruise because it makes them happy and it makes the eggs richer. But I left the gate open last night and I came out this morning and they had completely torn up my direct sowed garden bed. The one that I've been raving about for the past couple weeks about how I had excellent germination for my beets and my carrots and my radishes. And now it's basically all gone. You can just see the damage done here to these radishes. I tried to move away the dirt as best as I could, and honestly right now it looks fine, it looks normal, but I spent a lot of time this morning uncovering seedlings that had been covered up by dirt. I mean, the chickens just came in here and scratched this whole bed up. And I was pretty upset about it this morning. I was convinced I was going to make chicken soup out of my entire flock. But it's also a positive because I told you guys that I was going to do an entirely separate video on how I had such success direct sewing this year. And now I get to do that with the same bed I already sewed, but nonetheless. So now I will get to do that video on the exact bed that I already had seeds sown in. I will not get it done today. We are actually going out of town this weekend and taking the kids camping, which is going to be super fun. So I've been doing a lot of prep in the garden for being gone for a couple days. And what that looks like is bringing all of my seedlings out that I currently still have hardening off. I do have an automatic light system in my grow room where it would be very easy to just leave them in the grow room. They would get light when they needed to during the day. My neighbors watching my property so they could come water. But I have already hardened these plants off. And if I leave for an entire couple days and they stay inside for those 3 days, I will have to restart, or at least halfway restart the hardening off process. They may lose some of their hardiness if they're kept indoors after being outside and hardening off for the past 10 days. So I decided to just bring them outside, and I will have my neighbor water them out here. They will be perfectly fine staying outside, and it will just in fact harden them off further because they'll actually be out at nighttime. Currently I've been bringing them in at night and then putting them out during the day. But I'm going to be planting all of these guys really soon, so might as well just start it off now and get them out to where they're going to be permanently. Now, because the temperatures have been cooler, I haven't had to water every day. I'm usually watering every other day, which is great for my neighbors because what that means is I will water tomorrow morning before we leave, and then they don't have to water all while we're gone. We're only going to be gone 3 days, and then I can water the evening that we come back. That's super great because having someone watch your property in the summer in the desert just makes you feel terrible for all of the work that they have to do if you're gone for a lengthy period of time. So I've watered today. I will water again tomorrow morning very thoroughly, and hopefully, most likely, because it's been getting down to the 50s at night and it's staying relatively cool during the day. I believe our highs are in the high 80s today, which is cool to me. They shouldn't have to do anything with the garden except water those seedlings that I put out and my destroyed root vegetable garden. What I also did this weekend was plant out some more rows of brassicas. So I got rid of another tray of brassicas that I needed to get planted. So part of my daily workout here, what I will do if I have nothing to plant is I will come out to the in-ground garden and start to get rid of some of this Bermuda grass. It has been a lot easier to pull up since the fall has come on and I did the plastic weed barrier. So what I did this over the weekend was pull up the areas of Bermuda grass that I wanted to plant in, and then I re-amended with some organic garden soil and fertilizer, and then I got around to planting. The plants that I put in the ground this last couple days was Promise cabbage, Kariba broccoli, and Waltham 29 broccoli. And those have gone. Now I have the first 4 rows of my garden area done, and it about borders the entire span of the shade cloth. I have not pulled up Bermuda grass in the rest of the in-ground garden, but that is a work in progress. I do not need that space right this second. And as long as I work on a little bit of it every day, I feel perfectly fine. I have plenty of time before my first frost, and I am making progress slowly but surely. Such as yesterday, this is where my planting ends in this row. And I did all of this yesterday. As you can see, the clear line of Bermuda grass ending. It does take quite a bit of work, but it is fun to get your hands in the dirt and come out here, either put on a podcast or some music and just work. One of my favorite things about being in the garden and having all of this cleanup is just the meditative aspect of it. It's mindless. I mean, I say mindless. If you're listening to a podcast, obviously you're thinking, but getting out here and pulling weeds or cultivating a piece of land for crops, it's just hands to the ground, hands to your work, requires very little thought, and it's meditative to me. I get to be out here and give some effort, you know, maybe get a little sweaty, put in some work, and just relax. as oxymoronic as that sounds, it's very relaxing to me. So especially when the days are a bit cooler, there's a slight breeze, it helps that I'm under the shade cloth. It's very nice to be outside even in the middle of the day right now and just put my hands in the dirt and feel like I'm accomplishing something without having to stress. I just think that manual labor can be very relaxing as long as it's not too strenuous. I mean, pulling up Bermuda grass isn't too strenuous, but manual labor can be very relaxing to the mind, especially just the monotony of sitting on the ground and pulling weeds and listening to the sounds of nature. It's very nice. It's one of my favorite things. So it's very easy to get out here for, you know, an hour or two a day, slowly work down that in-ground garden, pulling up grass, and soon I will have this whole in-ground garden clear of Bermuda grass, and I will be able to plant in it. Although I'm not sure what I'm planting. I think I have enough space in the garden beds that I have left for the rest of my crops, which is fine. I will be more than happy to direct sow some crops in the in-ground garden. What I'm more concerned about is how to control this Bermuda grass next year, because when I built these in-ground garden beds, I put down a base layer of cardboard and then wood chips, and it's still just, it runs rampant. I mean, Bermuda grass is one of the hardest grasses to get rid of, and although I love it because it's the only thing that grows here, I'm just trying to think of a new thing. I do not want to put weed barrier down in my garden. I do like the fact that it is a no-till, completely organic in-ground garden. I'm just going to have to figure out a better way to stay on top of it next year. And it's really easy to thrive because I water it every day with my watering system. But that's not something I really have to worry about right this second. I have another 6 months before I have to worry about Bermuda grass coming up in this garden again. And for now, I am just going to enjoy the coolness of fall and the excitement of a brand new gardening season. And try not to kill all my chickens. Here you can really tell they did some digging in here, although I don't really have any plants that I need to worry about. This was the main bed that they demolished that I was pretty sad about. And they did do some work on this first brassica bed. These guys are getting huge. Look at that. And they ate this. They ate this little guy a little bit, but I think he'll recover. Should be fine. Other than that, they weren't too bad. They didn't mess up a whole lot in the garden. They just messed up the one thing that would cause the most damage, which was my root vegetable bed. But all is well and good, and now I get to show you guys how I direct seed my fall garden in the exact garden that I had originally direct seeded in. So there's a silver lining in the least. I don't have to worry about where I'm going to show you guys that I'm planting more carrots and beets in garden beds I have no room in. Silver lining. I'm not upset about it. But I'm going to go finish packing up and getting things ready for this camping trip that we're going on. Catch you guys on the next one.